Welcome to the I'm a Busy Guy show. My name is Vince LoCascio, and I'd like to welcome my first guest, Ron Onesti. He's president of Onesti Entertainment. We're both busy guys, so we don't have a lot of time to talk here. Just briefly, I'd like to review a little bit about Ron. First, welcome to the show.
Great to be here, Vince.
Nice to have you here. He's been known as the entertainment industry powerhouse, Mr. Entertainment, a mover and a shaker, and like I said, it's great to have you here.
Well, who told you that?
I read it online.
All right.
I don't know if it's true, but that's what they say. Kind of to work a little bit backwards here, I'd like to start off what I feel, and I'm sure you are very proud of, an award that you've won called the Ellis Island Medal of Honor Award.
Yes.
It's one of only 3 medals recognized by Congress.
Yes.
And just to quote briefly, and some of the company that you keep winning that award: Joe DiMaggio, Frank Sinatra, Martin Scorsese, 2 U.S. presidents. Can you tell me a little bit about the award and how you were nominated for it?
Well, I'm very excited about it. I mean, my gosh, what an honor it was, Vince. I mean, to be recognized by an organization that honors individuals whose families, whose origins came through Ellis Island, and my grandparents came through Ellis Island, as many of ours did, and. It's I still think there's a Ron Onesti out there that cured cancer that they just confused me with, because I can't believe. I mean, you tell you actually too, it's 7 presidents and Nobel Peace Prize winners and 5-star generals, and then there's me. So I don't get it either. But it was a wonderful ceremony. It was at Ellis Island, of course, at the foot of the Statue of Liberty. It was a tremendous event with represented by all. Arms of the military, and it was just hundreds of them there, and bands, and it's tremendous. Matter of fact, I'm excited because when you win this award, you also get to nominate someone, and I actually nominated Mickey Rooney, right? Just a legend, and Jerry Lewis, and they're both going to receive it this year, so I'm very excited about that.
And how were you nominated?
Well, I've been a part of the National Italian-American Sports Hall of Fame for about 20 years now, and George Randazzo's dream of putting up this great big place that honors Italian-Americans in sports, which we've done on Taylor Street. And I actually designed the exhibits, and I was editor of Red, White, and Green magazine for the organization. Just was very, I'd like to say, a good part of it. And that, again, that's part of my heritage and being an Italian-American, a proud Italian-American. Just, some of the, I don't know, the things that I've done in my community, they got wind of it in New York, and, one thing led to another. And, I mean, hundreds upon hundreds of people get nominated for this. And, like I said, I don't know how I slipped through the cracks, but it happened.
Great. Well, I know George deserves a lot of credit because, I mean, I remember him always in his heart trying. He would be at Italian festivals, Melrose Park Feast, with maybe just a booth promoting this thing, and now it's just a big elaborate thing.
Oh, 30 years later, he's still going strong.
We're all very proud of it. I mean, it's great, right? We should be known for a lot of other things besides the movies that we all know about.
Absolutely. There's some, you want to talk about Michelangelo, and you want to talk about Pavarotti, you want to talk about all the great accomplishments and contributions Italians have given to American culture. And it's, you want to talk food, you want to talk music, you want to talk art. It's hard to talk about those things and not bring up at least a couple Italians.
Right, we deserve credit.
Absolutely.
A little bit about your origin. You were born and raised on Taylor Street?
Yeah, was born on Taylor Street, and actually we moved, I was about 10 years old, from Taylor and Western, and went over to the Our Lady of the Angels Parish, which is Chicago Avenue.
How's the next parish over?
Which one?
Christians.
Oh, my gosh, we hated you guys. No, that's where I was. And then we moved on the north side. We were like army brats, you'd think, because we were just moving all over the place, running from the law, I think. My dad is a tailor, and my mom, seamstress and homemaker, and we did move quite a bit, but we always went from one Italian neighborhood to the next.
Yeah, that's good. Mm-hmm. What was your inspiration? I mean, you do so many things, but what was your inspiration to get you started, in production and in business?
Well, you know what? I've always been doing this certain kind of things. I've always been my own business. I was, I started, my dad has a great story about, having his valise full of samples of Christmas cards. And I was 5 years old, and they were watching me go next door and next door this way and that way to my neighbors. And the valise was being dragged. I was just a little guy, and selling Christmas cards at 5, 6 years old. Lemonade at 9, 10 years old, and I had franchised lemonade stands all around the block with the little kids, where I was buying the lemonade for 10 cents a packet, selling it to them for 15. Always had my end,
Nice.
Yeah.
And then I see, amongst other things, you're in the printing business.
Yeah, I went from the printing business to while I was going to college, I did a bunch of different things, and I started in promotion. I always wanted to be in promotion and marketing and advertising, and I got involved in printing. And I was printing. I was doing signs. I was doing signs for oh my gosh, a lot of the unions, local 714. Back in the days when the O'Hare Expo Center was.
That's the operating engineers. Who's 714?
The Teamsters, actually.
Teamsters.
And local 1001, the laborers, and they're doing a lot of that stuff for them. For those guys, I love those guys. And the years of up in Rosemount, when Rosemount was just really getting going with the convention center, and I was involved with the sign shop there, and just really involved with the printing business then.
And then sporting goods.
Well, I went from printing. So, basically what happened was I was doing marketing and promotions. I was in high school, and every time you did a promotion, you needed to do flyers and posters and business cards. So I'd go buy that stuff. And then I wanted to have a little bit, a piece of that and use that as part of my business. So I made a deal with the printing companies that I would sell for them. And then I would go to them and say, okay, my customer wants 500 flyers. They need it tomorrow, and they've only got $10 for it. And they say, well, I can only do it in 3 days, and it's going to cost you $12. So I want to have that kind of control. So I bought a printing press and then another printing press, and we started doing our own printing. And then from the printing, they wanted me to do signs, so I did the signs. From signs, I did silk screening to silk screen the real estate signs. You wanted 100 of them. And then from that, silk screen T-shirts. And then from that, the T-shirts I played semi-pro baseball until I was 33 years old.
Did you really?
Yeah. And so we made baseball uniforms.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff.
An extra life or something?
Yeah. Anyway, it was an evolutionary thing. It just kept on going.
Let me ask you. You have a degree from DePaul in marketing.
Went to DePaul.
What do you feel? I mean, you can't nail it down to one thing, but what do you feel that you've learned, or that you can't learn in school? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? There's a lot you can learn in school. Obviously, there's a lot you can learn on the street. With the street, and that's what I've been. I've been on the street doing my thing since I'm a kid. But it's about people. I mean, I just said we have an intern in my office, a couple of them, and I was just telling her this today. I said, if you want to be successful, if you really want to excel in what you're doing, I mean, I'll teach you the art of production. I'll teach you how to create these events and produce these events and produce these TV shows and do this kind of stuff. I said, but to really be successful, you have to know your people, know the people you're around you, know the people that you work for, know the people that work for you, and really understand them. And if you understand them, you know what buttons to push, you know what they're sensitive about, and you get the most out of the people around you, whether it's, like I said, who you're working for or those that are working for you. And once you've somewhat, I don't know if you can ever master it, but once you've somewhat gained a true understanding of that, you can really be successful in whatever it is that you do, whether it's production or event planning or concert management or any of that.
Yeah, I mean, I've always believed in that thought that some people are scared to teach other people their job when they're at some place because they're scared they might take their job. But it's a proven fact that the more you help somebody else be successful, the more you'll be successful. And I think that you're a testament to that.
Well, I love that, Vince. I couldn't get an internship in my industry for, I couldn't. I mean, I started doing these special events and the promotions and things very, very young. So by the time I was 23, 24 years old, where you're starting to get internships, want to get in there, I mean, I was already doing events with Michael Jordan and just doing a lot of that stuff. And, I went to different event companies and I couldn't get an internship, couldn't get a job. Yeah. It was like because the vice president of the company was interviewing me, I'll never forget this, I'm not going to mention the company, but the vice president of the company interviewed me and made a very, your resume beats my resume, and I've been doing this for 6 years. Yeah. And he said, frankly, that's why I can't hire you. So that's why I started my own company. Nice. Couldn't get a job.
And this was to be an intern?
To be an intern. I couldn't get an internship.
Unbelievable. Your brother, Rich,
yes,
is part of your company, obviously.
Absolutely.
And he runs the technical and production aspect?
Yeah,
of it?
That's kind of how it works. I mean, he's a genius with the stuff and an amazing individual, amazingly talented. And his forte is more in the IT world, the sound world, the production. I mean, this guy can, he's a MacGyver that can take a shoestring, a paper clip, and some Scotch tape and create something that is amazing. So
I mean, some of the productions that I've seen, obviously, just for example, the Edison Italian Fest, the lights, it's
No, no.
phenomenal.
Everything for all of our productions, everything we've done, everything we do, I can always, it goes through him, and he's just an amazing individual, and I'm more than lucky to have him be a part of this.
And you've got a whole support team of people with
Yeah.
your company.
Well, we've got some great people, and I've been fortunate over the years. I've always had a really good support group. Because we're really, we try to be good people. We try to be understanding. I'm really into, we talk about the internships. It kind of goes back to that. I've never been one, like I said, I couldn't get an internship, so I always vowed that if I had anything that would be of any use to an intern, I would do that. I would have a very aggressive internship program, and I have. And I don't believe in get-me-coffee internships. I believe in, really, like I've made accounting interns CFOs of my company while they're, 20 years old. I have accountants too and everything, but I give them that thing. And these kids have gotten tremendous jobs, if I do say so, but, just because the experience that we've given them. And that's how it is here. When you work for us, even as an intern, you're involved. You're doing stuff.
Yeah. A couple of, well, not just a couple of, but some of the venues that you have now, the Arcada Theater in St. Charles.
Yes.
Tell me how that came about, and I'm a big fan of architecture, but you took it from what, it was shut down for years?
Well, no, not really. Actually, on the contrary, it's one of only like maybe 8 theaters in the country built in the vaudeville 1920s era that's been going consistently as a theater the way it was when it first opened. Some places have been remodeled, some places, but this is amazing. And basically, I was booking some acts there. And they were, it was just like a regular thing. And this, about 5 years ago, I was calling, and nobody was returning my calls. I finally went over the place, and the place was dark. And it looked like there was a dumpster outside. It looked like there was, they were going to make it an office building. So,
Progress.
Yeah, progress. Well, who knows? But I put in offers, and I got it, and I didn't even realize it. I mean, it just happened so fast. And then since then, I thought it'd be real easy because, the weeks that I was courting the other owner and the city and all that stuff, it was like, the savior and they had stories, my picture on the front page of the Daily Herald and different papers every week about this guy coming saving it and people on the street. I'm like, this is going to be easy. I'll run for mayor. This will be awesome, So that's what pushed me over the edge. It was all this support. And then I opened it up and nobody came. Nobody came. It was a very challenging thing because, it's hard. It's hard. There's a lot of dynamics to that. People say, oh, that'd be terrible if it went down. It'd be terrible if it closed. But then, to re-educate people that it's not a $4 movie house anymore. It's a live venue. Yeah. And but since then, it's 5 years now, and it's been going strong. And we've had, we had just in the last 6 months, Jerry Lewis and Wayne Newton and David Cassidy and Davy Jones and America, The Guess Who, Patty Page, Connie Francis. It just goes on and on. Richard Marx, the Village People, Casey and the Sunshine Band. I can, it's amazing what we've done there, and people love it. We have something for everybody there as well.
And you're there hands-on.
Oh my gosh,
all the time.
No, if you know anything about me, I'm there.
And then. I know it's in very close proximity is the Onesti Supper Club.
Yeah, about it's a 160-year-old church that is just amazing. It's 3 floors, 2 bars. It's really gorgeous, and they were going to make that a medical center. And I would take my celebrities there for dinner. It was a restaurant. They were going to
tear it down, or they're going to keep
it? No,
but
remodeled on the inside. Not make it because there wasn't a restaurant that could make it there over the years. Since the '60s, it's been a restaurant. It's been a disco. It's been an Irish pub. It's been a steakhouse. It's been all kinds of things. Nothing ever worked. And the owners kept on courting me. They said, they had to get rid of it. And they said, you're the only one, because every time I would come there, I'd fill the place up because I'd be bringing celebrities, or I'd have whatever stars are with me, I'd bring there because it's a beautiful place. And they said the only way you could do it is to do shows here and bring your celebrity friends. And I said, come on, the last thing I need is a restaurant. My gosh, I mean, if
do you remember me asking you? You said, I'm getting to the restaurant business. I said, why would you want to do that? But
yeah, I don't think you were that. I think you used a couple other words, like you something, dummy. But But yeah, there wasn't a chance I could do it, you know. But they kept on calling me, So I finally said, look, I said, here, I threw them a stupid offer. I said, here, okay, you want me to buy it? There you go. And I walked away. 2 days later, I got a call. Can you come see us? We really want to talk to you. I'm like, all right. I went and sat with them. I sat at the table, wrote a check. They walked out. I looked around, went, holy crap, what did I just do? And but you know, I thought it was going to be fun. I mean, the only reason why I agreed to do it was because they had the staff in place, they had the kitchen in place, we had management in place. They showed me the books; it was breaking even. I could take something that's breaking even and make it incredible. I know that I can. And you know, I'd go there on Saturday nights, I'd kiss babies, I'd shake hands. How you doing? Hey, Vince, how you been? How are you? Come on in. You know, I thought it'd be like that. Yeah. Well, you know, within the first year. I realized exactly what it takes. It takes exactly what everybody, all my friends in the restaurant business said it was going to take, you know. And it's a major commitment. I love it. I love to cook. I've been in the business for 20 years. What business? Hospitality, the entertainment, the people business, exactly. But you know, what we do is putting on shows. We organize with detail management. It's all pretty much the same thing. I mean, you know, there's different things, and a lot of things I had to learn the hard way. But you know, we turned it into like a supper club, like a 1940s style supper club. You know, I've got a Dean Martin stage there, and we'll do 1940s swing dancing one night, and we'll have a Rat Pack night the next night. We'll have 3 tenor dinners, an Elton John, Billy Joel sing along, Elvis night, all kinds of jazz nights. We had. Because it was Easter weekend on Saturday night, we had a special tribute to Judy Garland. It was tremendous. I mean, you know, we have a World War II nights with tributes to the Andrews sisters. We'll do Sinatra, of course, all kinds of things.
Well, you have the tie into the theater as well. I mean, because I know in the restaurant business, if you've got a venue close to you, you're getting the people either before the theater or afterwards. So.
Well, see, that's what makes sense. You know, I mean, that's what really made it make sense. Where I would have, let's say, like, for example, we just had Dionne Warwick at the theater. So prior to the show, she was tremendous. But you know, prior to the show, we sell these packages. All 3 floors of the restaurant gets filled up before the show itself. We have this dinner. We serve the dinner. Dionne comes to the restaurant. It's part of my deal with the entertainers. You got to come. You got to wave. Maybe have dinner. So she had dinner right in the middle of everybody. Okay. And how cool is it, you know, to be sitting amongst a celebrity. So you had dinner with her. 7:30, the show starts at 8 o'clock. Everybody gets up. We've got shuttle buses, take them to the theater, 2 blocks down. Then at that point, my regular dinner crowd comes in, fills up the place. That goes good. By the time the dinner crowd leaves, 10:30, Dionne Warwick show's over. Everybody comes back for dinner. I mean, for desserts and appetizers and drinks. And Dionne comes back and hangs out. And it's just an amazing dynamic that we really got something going good here. And we've done things like Mickey Rooney's 89th birthday we just did. I mean, who could say they did that? Yeah. You know, we had a night with Mickey Rooney, Vince. I got to tell you about it. It was another career moment for me. I mean, I love the legends. I have a great appreciation for it. And Mickey stayed with me for a whole week. I mean, he was just an amazing guy. He still is. And he was here for a week, and he was promoting, and he was telling me how he loved the 3 tenors, he and his wife, Jan, who he's a little guy, as we know. His wife is about 5'11".
Well, that's the oldest joke. I like to thank everybody. I like to thank all the little people, especially Mickey Rooney.
Yeah. Well, he's a very, very big guy, believe me. He came to the restaurant. We had dinner prior to the night before our show at the theater. And we had these 2 gentlemen from Russia. They're called as a 4-handed piano players, classical pianists. And they're like playing, you know, next to each other, sitting with doing this. It was crazy. And then we had cameras on and video screens, and people were going crazy. And Mickey and Jan were just loving this. Then I went up to the microphone and I said, Mickey, I said, you know, you've been such a great person, you and Jan, all week. Very proud, World War II vet. And you've been telling me how much you love the 3 tenors. Well, we have 3 tenors that work for us. They're tremendous. Simon Kyung Lee and Warren Moulton and Franco Martorana. And Franco has a persona of Luciano Pavarotti, and they are beyond talented. There's talented, and then there's these 3 gentlemen. And as a gift, I brought them in to sing. And they went right up to Mickey, and they did the Nessun Dorma, and they said Con Ingrato, and all the stuff that just, whether you like opera, ever heard of it or anything, I don't care. You have to be unable to hear, not to just feel the music, and he was crying.
I was going to say there was probably not a joy
Oh,
in
he
the
was
house, right?
bawling. I mean, but he looked like the guy in the Wizard of Oz at the door with the tears. He was crying. And then so when the three tenors were done, I asked Mickey and Jan to come up to the Dean Martin stage, and we did a little Q&A, and I have a 1930s piano right there, and he got up, and after all the questions and answers, and he gave stories of Spencer Tracy and Judy Garland, of course, and Clark Gable, and all these great stories. And then he got up, and he went to the piano. He's an amazing piano player.
Really?
So don't forget, I got people in the restaurant having dinner. They're like, holy cow, how was this?
Rooney tonight.
It was but the three tenors, Mickey Rooney, the Russian guys, he's playing piano. What's going on here? And so we had Connie Francis there, Neil Sedaka, Martin Short loves the restaurant, Rick Springfield loves it. We got Davy Jones coming up, and he loves the restaurant. He hangs there when he's in town. Armand Asante, the actor, Chaz, my
He's
good
one of my favorites.
Well, Armand was there. He called me when he was in town. He goes, come on downtown. When he was filming a few weeks ago. And I said, yeah, you got to come down to St. Charles. He goes, yeah, I'll take a plane over there from downtown Chicago. But he came. He brought 40 of his entourage, and we just all night long. He just loved it.
No kidding.
And Chaz Palminteri was there.
I was going to ask you about him.
Well, Chaz, come on.
So you did a night with him, and he does Bronx Tale?
Yeah, it was actually what was going on was, he came in, we brought him into Chicago. I brought him into Chicago when I had the place over at NBC Studios. I had a 240-seat theater there. And he did we had him in for 2 days. It was called Chaz Palminteri, My Life in Song. Because he started off as doo-wop guy. Under the lamppost.
Really?
Oh, that's what he did. I mean, he was, as a kid, that's where all that, that's when the Bronx Tale movie opens, and he talks about being on Arthur Avenue.
Well, Bronx Tale, he's the kid. He's
Colodro. He's the guy. A lot of people think it's De Niro's story. It's Sicilian.
I know. I found that out. I mean, because I looked up, Ellis Island has that website.
Oh, yeah.
I was looking up our last name. There's a ton of Colodro.
Yeah.
LoCascio.
Yeah. And no, he's, LoCascio, really?
Yeah.
Colodro LoCascio? No kidding. No, I think Chaz. We've got to be tremendous friends, and he's been a great friend to my family, my sister. He loves my little sister. He's just a tremendous guy. I mean, maybe on your next show, when we got 3 or 4 hours to spend, we could talk about Chaz, because I can give you days on him.
Now, how do you find these people, or they find you? I mean, do you?
Well, it's what we do. It's first of all, once I've been doing this for a long time, Vince, and once you break that wall, once you've been established as someone they could trust, and what you say is gold, and you have good venues, and you take care of them, and then it's a lot easier. And then you start doing things with some of these legends, and your name gets out there. And so it's not that they find. I mean, I create these shows. Like, wouldn't it be cool to do this? I mean, that's how it has a quick thing of how it happened with Chaz. I mean, a very good friend of mine, Louis Venario, was Crazy Mario, the kid with the big nose, in one of the 4 kids in Bronx Tale. And I got to know him because we were doing the Sopranos cast parties at the Borgata Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, and I had Louis Prima's daughter on the bill, and so that's how I met the guys from the Sopranos and got to be friends with them.
You had her at the Oakley.
Absolutely, I had her there. So we had her there. I met Louis, who was on it. We got to be friends. Now I get the Italian Tribune, which is a New York publication, and there was a little blurb in there about Chaz Palminteri workshopping his one-man play at a local place. And I saw this. I went, wow, how cool is that? I'm a huge fan. I'd love to have Chaz in town. So I called Louis. I said, Louis, is there a way that you can put me in touch with Chaz? He goes, you know what? He's a very interesting guy. He says, I really don't want to, I don't really do that. I see him at parties here and there, but I don't, And then, but I've always brought this kid Louis in to play my festivals or, do some different things with him. So he calls me back. He said, Ron, I gave it some thought. You've always been really cool to me. You brought me to Chicago several times. You've helped me out. He goes, I'll put the call in to Chaz for you. I said, okay, that's great. A couple of days later, I get a phone call. And it's like, Ron Onesti? I said, yeah. He says, Chaz Palminteri. I said, come on, Lou, quit screwing around. He said, no, this is Chaz. Anyway, we talked, and it was, I went to his house then, and we got to be, I crossed that barrier, and now was in, you could trust me. And since then, he's been, I can't tell you. And then when I opened the restaurant, he came in and did my grand opening. He made an appearance, and it's a tremendous guy,
Nice. I wanted to ask you about that too, because I know I teach you. I don't know how you have time to do all that you do.
You're a busy guy. You got a show.
Yeah.
It says busy guy.
Busy. But it says what do you do nationally? You just mentioned Atlantic City.
Yeah, I've been doing shows, I mean, all over the country. I mean, we've done them, my gosh, we do a lot of corporate events from New Orleans and Orlando and L.A. and New York a lot. We do the Hoboken Italian Festival in Hoboken, New Jersey, the land of Frank Sinatra.
Really?
Been doing that for 9, 10 years. Yeah, we do just a lot of things all over the place.
And you're just, anything in Las Vegas, you mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, not lately because I've been really concentrating here. But, you know, as a producer, one of the trophies you can get, you know, outside of awards are, you know, you have your name in lights in Las Vegas. And at the Sahara Hotel, I've got Ron Onesti Presents on, you know, on the Vegas Strip. That's a pretty cool thing.
Nice.
So I did shows there, and then, yeah, you know.
How about the Tangiers?
Oh, the Tangiers. I don't want to have my car explode.
What I wanted to ask you about is...
who knows? There's so much.
What advice would you give... I mean, nobody's going to ever catch up to you, what you do, and do it as well as you do. But I will ask you, what advice would you give to a young kid that comes to you, an intern, says, you know what, Ron, I want to be like you. What should I do? Well,
you just got to be hungry, and you just got to, you know, we did some TV shows, and I got involved in television. And, as a matter of fact, we got a couple of Emmy Awards for them. And it was called The Happiness Club. I did it with PBS. And this show was about 60 kids who... her parents are in real bad shape, whether it's criminal backgrounds and kind of, they really didn't have a very stable home life. Kids from the ages of 5 years old to 17 years old. And this show was like an MTV style music videos, but it was music or songs about kids against drugs, kids against gangs, positive self-image. We got 3 Emmys for this show. It was very, very cool. But thank you. But that was I bring that up because that really struck me because they were all looking for advice. They needed direction, and you know, you see, they had talent. You know, talent. Obviously, you want to hone your talent. You want to love your mom and dad. You want to do all that stuff. That's the advice everything gets you. And unfortunately, these days, it's so competitive and so hard to get where you want to be that having natural talent and a lot of talent just brings you to the dance. You know, you have to excel, and you have to be hungry. And that's what there isn't anything I didn't do. You know, I was interested in everything, and I kept on going, didn't take no for an answer. And that's the advice I'd give them. It's just, and the earlier advice is just knowing the people. Be a people person. You want to study, you want to know your craft, you want to be the best that you can be, and you know all that stuff already. But you want to know the people that's around you. Be a people person, and you'll get to where you want to go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your number one thing, I believe, going for you is your passion.
Well,
I mean, it comes through. It's obviously in your resume and also. I want to thank you for being on the show, and I got a little something for you to thank you. So,
watch out. What are you reaching for? Take it easy.
It's just the cannolis.
The cannolis.
Yeah.
You actually give me cannolis?
Yeah.
There's actually cannolis in?
Yeah.
Wait, this is ticking. I got to put this in water before I open this up. Really, these are actual cannolis? Yeah. These are cannolis.
I won't lie and say I made them myself, but.
So I'm assuming there isn't a check coming through.
No.
It's just cannoli. Okay, well, this is it.
Take the cannolis, leave the gun.
Yeah.
You know what, Ron, I got a call.
Let me get a call.
I got to go. Hold on. Yeah.
This is a freaking busy guy.
All right. All right, bye. Yeah, you know what? I got to go. I'm busy, so.
You're leaving me here with cannolis.
Yeah, you'll do fine. If you want to finish the show, whatever you want to do, but I got to go because I'm busy. Thanks. The busiest guy I know, Ron Onesti. Good luck with the rest of the show. So I'll see you later, Ron.
All right, well.
Take care. Thanks for being on the show.
Well, thank you, Vince. And hey, this cannoli's for you. Salud.
Salud.
You got to be kidding me. Are these real? I'm going to try it anyway.